Okay, I am done with Brian Murphy. What did he do? What did he say? Why is it so indefensible? What does this mean for the Purple Revolution? We're going to cover that in this video. I don't have all the answers, especially about the Purple Revolution. As far as the Purple Revolution goes, I really want you guys to weigh in on this. I'll talk about it at the tail end of this video and give my thoughts on it. But whether we keep moving forward or not really depends on you. Depends on if you think it's important, if you engage with this video, if you share your opinion, because I really don't know what to do at this point. But let's get into what Brian Murphy said and why it's kind of a deal breaker for me. Talk about it in this video. All right, so this is going to be a very difficult video for me to do, because if you follow my channel, you know that I jumped on the bandwagon when the Purple Revolution thing came out. And I felt like the right thing to do was to lend a hand instead of finding reasons for it to fail. I've been pretty vocal that we have an obligation to try to unite, because the danger of fascism rising in our country right now is serious and concerning. The person who started this movement is a guy named Brian Murphy. Brian is an imperfect messenger, as we all are, right? And I've been actively defending him online, but he continues to post stranger and stranger things that are getting harder and harder to defend. And it hasn't been very easy to clean up after some of the things that he says. In his latest video on TikTok, Brian says some things that are pretty weird and indefensible. I have no option here really but to cut my ties with Brian. I'll get to the video that he put out there in a second, but first I want to say a few things. So I tried to reach out to Brian and Colt College multiple times. I felt that their core message was solid, but that they needed some help with the messaging. Neither of them reached out, and had they reached out, all of this would have gone way differently, but alas. In the video that I'm about to show you, Brian is confused by what he saw in the No Kings 2.0 event, the protest. His primary source of confusion seems to be why people are dressing in frog costumes, and he claims that's not very scary. I don't think he gets the point. I have a lot of things I want to say about this, but first, let's watch the video and I'll comment on it on the other side.
Who is scared, man? Who did you guys actually scare yesterday? Come on now. Did you not watch what them people looked like in them protests yesterday? These people look like straight up jokes. An embarrassment to this country. Going out there dressed like in unicorn costumes and pajamas and what most people call costumes, but they wear on an everyday basis. Like, you expect people to take that seriously? You expect people to take those kind of people seriously. Nobody takes some people seriously. Nobody's scared of that. Nobody's scared of that, dude. And I seen on there in some of your comments on your videos that you guys want to use your First Amendment so you don't have to use your Second Amendment, buddy. Ain't nobody over here scared of you. What you guys showed yesterday proves there's nothing to be afraid of with you people. Nothing.
Now, how bad was that? It's bad enough. All right, it's bad enough, and I'm gonna lay out the reasons why I think this is really, really bad. And those of you who are out there who want to say I told you so, go for it, man. You were right. It's deserved, and I should have seen this coming. I'm not going to debunk everything that he says, nor am I going to show you the whole video, because to be honest, it makes me a little sick to my stomach to watch that. But there are some important things that should be highlighted from this video. And these are the main reasons that I don't feel like I can be associated with Brian anymore, or I don't feel like he's really the right person to be a leader of a movement of unity. So, first of all, one, clearly Brian didn't go to the No Kings event. So he is willing to admit that voting for Trump was a mistake. That's good. But he's not enough of a leader to show up and protest in person. The extent of Brian's engagement in this whole thing is to turn on his phone and record a video. And he does that from the comfort of his own home. I really expect more from people who are going to be leaders in this movement, and that ain't cutting it. Boots on the ground, Brian. We needed boots on the ground. Number two, Brian does not understand that the point of the protests was to rally voters around a cause. That cause is one that he said that he agreed with, defeating Trump. You know, he said that it was a mistake for him to vote for Trump in the first place. And here we have Donald Trump, convicted felon, alleged pedophile, a guy who's defiling our White House, a guy who is posting videos like a 8-year-old child of himself pooping on protesters. And yet he was unwilling to show his support. He was unwilling to put in the effort to go down there and meet his fellow Americans that were also there to send a message to Donald Trump. He does not understand the power of the people and the power of voting in a democracy. And because of that, I don't think he's a good candidate to be a leader of this movement. The third point, Brian thinks that the point of a protest is to scare the opposition. And our protest was not very scary. Well, you're right about that, Brian, you know. But the thing I would encourage you to do is read some history books and maybe watch some documentaries on Nazi Germany and learn about how fascist regimes use scare tactics and force to encourage people not to dissent. That's not what we're doing here, bud. That's not what we're doing here. We're not fascists. We are the anti-fascists. Okay, that's the whole point. We're not going to go around dressed in cosplay uniforms trying to scare our fellow Americans. That would be fascist. We're not doing that. So again, because you don't understand the point of a protest, if you don't understand the point of voting in democracy, you're not a good candidate for the leader of this movement. So those are the big three right there. That is enough for me to say, look, I'm done. I can't continue to go online and defend the stuff that you're saying. And as far as from what I can see, you're making no effort. You haven't reached out to me. You're not sitting down with people who have organized groups like this before and trying to learn and educate yourself on what the issues are, and trying to be a messenger with a message that is appealing to both sides. I mean, it's not working, man. It's not working. So what does this mean for the Purple Revolution? Well, I don't know. I still think unity is a noble cause. What do you guys think? You know, what should we do? I mean, if I'm honest, I'm not surprised that this happened, and I was worried that Brian would be a poor messenger for the group, for the organization. But I was trying very hard to get a hold of him, and I thought that maybe I could help him with his messaging, but it didn't pan out. I could see moving forward and trying to identify some new leadership. I still think we need to build some kind of forum where we can all discuss and maybe nominate some people to kind of run with this. Some people with some experience maybe. But One of the things that I'm very concerned about is we're always going to have Brian out there as one of the original founders of this organization, putting out content that is unfiltered and off message. And it will be very easy for critics to point that out and discredit everyone who is involved, myself included. So I really don't know what to do after this. I have some final thoughts, okay? It's so very telling, in my opinion, that Brian expects tough guy optics at these protests. Why? Well, that's because that's what the MAGA protests were. That's what the insurrection on January 6th was. There's lots of large, burly men dressed in Chinese-made camo with rifles cosplaying as tough hombres who shouldn't be fucked with. This strokes their little egos and makes them feel tough, makes them feel like a man. But what Brian and these idiots don't get is that people dressing up in costumes, the people dressing up in the frog costumes and the dinosaur costumes and the unicorn costumes, those people are mocking the so-called tough guys. The protesters laugh at them. The protesters think they are a joke. The protesters can see them compensating for all of their personal shortcomings. The protesters know that all these guys are involuntarily celibate and no woman on earth wants anything to do with them because they are grown men pretending to be army men. And let's be honest, that's not very attractive. It's fucking pathetic. Real men, Brian, and all of you, the rest of you out there, stand up for the weak. Real men stand up for the marginalized, the disenfranchised. Real men stand up for women and minorities. Real men care about the environment so that their children don't die from cancer, thanks to some industrialist that's pumping poison into our water table. Real men stand up to power. Weak men cower and bootlick to power. And we're seeing a lot of that going on right now. It's the entire Republican Party, bunch of bootlickers. So Brian could have reached out to me and he could have asked Michael, hey, what is the point of all these protests? And in a minute, I could have explained all this to him. I would have said, hey, bud, come on down, come out to Colorado, join me at the protest and I'll show you. Come meet some of these people. These are good people. Good, kind, concerned, patriotic people. Instead, like Donald Trump's AI video, Brian, he took a massive dump on the entire Purple Revolution movement. Not a good move, Brian. Not a good move. So, for all of those reasons, I am done with Brian Murphy. Michael out.